This week our topic is Chapter 4, Children's Learning and Development. Our first section of the presentation is learning about development. This slide will define what development consists of. Click on the Listen and Learn podcast for more information. Read our fourth slide. And there is a podcast that explains the information on our fifth slide. Our sixth slide discusses the effects of culture on theory. And I'd like you to read this slide. And then we move on to part 2 of the presentation, which is the brain and learning. Watch the video on the brain to learn how it works. And then we read the slide on the windows of opportunity for teaching young learners when their brains are most able to learn. We're going to do a little application of the past 2 slides and look at the early needs of the brain. Watch the video on the left and then make a comparison between what the video tells you and how teachers or caregivers of young children should use this information. When you're finished, click here to take you to a Padlet where you're going to share your response. Read the list of implications for learning and teaching young children. And then we're going to have a try it out activity. Watch this video clip from the movie Kindergarten Cop. Pretend that the children in the classroom have this same scenario every day going on in their kindergarten classroom. Share one negative that the brain would have to deal with and one positive about brain development that would occur directly from this classroom, and also share why this might occur. You can get to the Padlet board for sharing by clicking on the word share. Now we're going to move away from the brain and talk about the child development theories. And we're going to go through quite a few theorists. So we're going to first look at Erikson. And for each slide, you're going to see a photograph of the theorist. You're going to have a podcast explaining the theory. And then we'll have information about the theory and implications for teaching. We move into Maslow. Again, same organization. And Piaget. And we have a lot of information on Piaget as a theorist. So we have 1, 2, 3 slides on Piaget's different theories. We move into Vygotsky, and then we'll move from these developmental theorists to learning theorists. And so we're going to move on here. And the fourth section is our learning theorists. So our learning theorists are Skinner and Bandura. Now, we're going to have a try it out, and this try it out is at a website called Educanon, but they actually just changed their name. So now it's called Play Post-it. And what I need you to do is just click right here on this computer screen, and it'll take you to this link. And then when you get there, you're going to watch the video, and it will say try it out. And then just every time that they stop the video, you'll be prompted with a question. On that question, jot down your answers just on a piece of paper, and then at the end of our activity, drop your answers in the weekly participation drop box for points. What you're going to be doing on this slide for your try it out is you're going to be seeing many videos of children or classrooms, and I'm going to ask you what learning theory or theorist or developmental theory or theorist is involved. So it's application of all those theorists and theories we just learned. Should be fun. The fifth section of our presentation looks at the role of play in early childhood classrooms, and we're going to start with reading a list of reasons why play is disappearing. We'll move into types of play, and this is a sorting activity. What I would like you to do is take the 4 types of play on the left and just match them up with the definition on the right. You can jot these down, but you do not have to drop box them. Take a minute, though, and see if you can figure out the new vocabulary of play, and then on the next slide, you'll check your answers. After you check your answers, just take a minute and read the benefits of play. We don't always realize how important play is. And then this is a common problem we're seeing in early childhood classrooms right now. How do you fit play into a day? And I want you to read the situation and then the actual specific problem resulting from the situation. And then I'd like you to read the question. And the question is, how do you increase play in a kindergarten classroom while still spending your required time on academics? Watch these 2 short video clips and then read page 128 for more information on how to integrate play into kindergarten classrooms and still have learning going on all the time. Our last section is Reggio Emilia approach, and we'll start with a quote based on the Reggio Emilia approach. Reggio Emilia is not a person, it is a place in Italy, and this will give you the basics right here on the founder, the model, and also what the philosophy of a child is within this approach. Then I'd like you to go to pages 129 to 132 in your text, and I want you to read the sections that are the learning principles and values to guide practice because they're very specific, and make some connections to that. The last part of our presentation today is an introduction of our Philosophy of Education project. So I need you to go into D2L and open the handout for the Philosophy of Education project and have that on hand while you watch this project intro video. The due date for this project is April 25th, so you have lots of time. I just want to point out, I know I point this out in the video as well, that the project has components that you are definitely equipped to answer right now. So when you go through the project video intro, think about what can I already answer toward my philosophy, and then there will be sections that you won't be able to answer yet because we haven't covered that content in the class, but I want you to be working on the project and on your own as you feel you have the tools to answer the next section, move through it. Again, it's not due till April 25th, so you have lots of time, but get started on it now. And we'll wrap up with our weekly assignments. You have 5 main assignments this week. I'd like you, as you go through this presentation, to participate in 3 online activities, and those are all 3 Padlets. They are on slide 10, slide 12, and slide 32 of this presentation. These are going towards your 10 participation points for the week. Also, you have 1 activity to Dropbox this week, and that's going to be the little video try it out where you're jotting down your answers. And that is on slide 23, and I will look in the Dropbox for that. That will also be towards your 10 points. For next week, read Chapter 5 to get ready, and also start those Philosophy of Education, even though they're not due till April 25th. And last, you should continue your after-school observations. For most of you, those are due February 29th. If you will not be submitting that to the Dropbox, please check in with me and let me know. I know of 2 people that have already checked in with me. You don't have to check in with me again, but if you have not dropped me a little email that says, hey, my after-school observation won't be completed on time, or you've already Dropboxed it, don't worry about this. That's it for our Chapter 4 Child Development Introduction.